All right, welcome back to Crypto Cosm, everybody. It's an exciting new episode number 55. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. 55 episodes, and there's a couple little tips from the vault speckled in there throughout as well. It's been a fun journey. You know, this has been great. This has been a lot of fun, and there's a lot going on. A lot of changes of here in the Crypto Cosm studio. Hopefully a lot of good changes have been happening in your lives as well. There is so much going on. Let's jump right into it.
Matt, we're going to be talking about Coinbase. We're going to be talking about the New York City Stock Exchange platform that's coming out. We're going to be talking about some big time money manipulation schemes that have been happening, and maybe one that's possibly happening right now.
Right now.
Right now. We're also going to be looking at that beautiful Bitcoin chart and look at those ups and downs and waves that we have ridden over the past few weeks here with these eclipses. And man, we are smack dab.
Perfect.
Everything
is lining up perfectly, and we'll bring all that astrology in at the end and wrap it all up. So,
man,
where are we at?
So I want to talk about this Bitcoin chart, man. So last week we showed the chart. We're going to show it here in just a second, but we were looking at some very specific numbers. Specifically, 6,800 for Bitcoin was the best case scenario for our turnaround. Well, we've dropped below that. Now we're aiming right at 6,300. And I'm wondering where it's going to bounce off of. Maybe that 6,200 in the next day or two. So let's take a look at the chart right here. So we've got those two red lines that go just straight through. We already came down below the top support line of $6,800. That would have been one of the best case scenarios for a turnaround. We're still on our way down, heading into this next eclipse. So we got the eye on this 6,200 mark. So I would love to see some bounce action right in that area as we move forward. But now we just had a big, $1,000 dip. And
Right on time. If you guys have been following us, we talked about Venus, our money planet, is going to square Saturn perfectly tomorrow, which is Thursday. Today's Wednesday. And we've been feeling it since the 4th. And it's absolutely, without a doubt, it's shown us,
the big squeeze.
It's putting the squeeze on it, and it's great. It's exactly where it should be, and we're lining up perfectly for the eclipse on Saturday. Is going to be a real beaut as far as turning this around and shining the light on some green for us to come in the near future here.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm just gonna visualize it for the next few days. I'm going to see it in my mind. I'm going to breathe it in. I'm going to taste it. I'm going to listen for the color green. It sounds amazing.
What does the
color green
taste like?
It tastes like sweet nectar of the gods. That's what it tastes like. So that's my plan for the next couple of days. I'm not going to watch the charts too closely. I'm just going to think green, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
think green.
Again, the square is perfect tomorrow on Thursday. The square is perfect, and it'll start to lighten up as it pushes away. But it's what we're seeing today. We're right on.
It's been following it along to a T, which has been really, really interesting to see, and I feel part of me feels like we've been running up the mountain, getting to the top. We're just about there. We can almost relax and just be able to enjoy the view here shortly, and hopefully get a nice ride down the mountain, which is really going up.
Right. Well, let's talk about this too, as you were talking about some manipulation and where we're at right now. Again, to me, it's lining up perfectly. The astrology to the charts, the crypto charts is perfect, absolutely perfect. And this again is going to set us up for what we're going to see when the Sun and Mercury hit that part in mid-September. It's going to dip again. But we should be going up from Saturday on. Should be a really good space. But it's on track as far as what I see as the astrology goes, but there's other things that are happening down here on Earth that are affecting this, right? So
as above, so below.
What are you seeing right now that's going on that is hammering this down on the human perspective?
There's some immediate things going on right now. But before we get to that, I want to back up just a little bit. Let's travel back in time. Let's go to, say, September of 2017. And I'll bet you over half the individuals that will watch this will remember this actually happening. So we had Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan come out and say, Bitcoin is a fraud. That was his big, bad, bold statement.
And that anybody in his company that tries to sign up for Coinbase, whatever, is pretty much going to can him, which I think is kind of illegal. But that was stated, which is mad.
So what happened? So everybody's like, look this way. Don't look over here, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a Kansas City shuffle.
And that's
call that.
That's what this was just the start.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin is a fraud. JP Morgan comes out with his big talk. Well, what happened to the price shortly after that? We shot down in price 24%.
That's a big chunk of money.
That's a whole quarter of the enchilada. And what happened shortly right after? Who was the biggest buyer of Bitcoin? Well, they tracked it down, and the largest account in Europe was linked to JP Morgan buying Bitcoin.
So, when you look at this information,
Shame
this
on
is
you.
manipulation at its finest.
Shame
Public
on
manipulation
you.
at its finest, right? Of, hey, I have a lot of weight, I'm a heavy hitter, and what I say goes. And if I say this, there's enough, it's like that, I forget the guy's name, but there was like this radio DJ in the 70s that came on as a joke. It was like, oh, the aliens are coming and taking, and people ended up going nuts.
Got my tinfoil hat on.
Right, because
Ready
this
to
guy
roll.
was such a respected individual that when he said this, and it was just, a joke, but it was a big deal, so chaos went, and that's what's happening here, but on a purposeful, manipulative level, to where it's like, I'm going to purposely do this to the market, to where people sell off so I can buy it up. I mean,
Let me step on a bunch of other people so I can get even further ahead.
it's the American
Thanks
way.
a lot. So, unfortunately, it's sad. So, George, let's fast forward a little
Fast
bit.
forward.
Let's get to January. George Soros, Bitcoin is a bubble. Bitcoin is
And
a
people
bubble.
believed it in January when it started to go down. And again, the eclipses really smashed it down, especially that one on February 15th.
Oh my gosh.
So people believed it. Oh, it's just a bubble. This is a fad. It is a fad. It's not going to last.
44% drop at that time. 44% drop.
We call
after
those
that.
the weak hands.
And who got the approval to go ahead and buy Bitcoin shortly after that?
I don't know. Who?
George Soros. What
No.
do you know? What do you know? So, February, Goldman and Sachs. All cryptos will go to zero.
And the eclipse was there, and it hit
for your
hard.
input. 27% drop after that. Not maybe 30 days after, 35 days after they announced their new trading platform for cryptocurrency. And I think purchased another trading platform for over $400 million.
There's a bit of
But they're
trend
all going to go
happening
to
here.
zero.
Yeah, there's a bit of trend happening here.
They're
isn't
all
it?
going to go to zero. So now we have billionaire hedge fund Steve Cohen. We have Mark Larcy coming in, making a $1.7 billion purchase in Bitcoin. We have Wellington Capital, BlackRock investment company, which are some of the, we're talking trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars.
And when did this happen?
These are the biggest players that are just jumping in the game these last month or so. And just recently, not too long ago now, we have the Rothschilds dipping their fingers in the honey pot.
And is it fantastic that it's at this particular time when the market is at its near low? Now Bitcoin dropped below to where it is right now. But at an overall, if you're looking at the market in general, aside from Bitcoin, because Bitcoin went down to 5,000 and I forget the other
5,350, but who's counting?
Yeah. I got called out. I got called out. I don't listen to these guys. Homie doesn't know. Homie on the right doesn't know how to price of Bitcoin.
I'm the guy that knows.
Yeah, so it's fine.
No problem.
But the market, everything else right now is lower than it's been the entire year. We've got Litecoin giving it away at 62.50 right now. 62.50. They're just giving them away. I mean, a month and a half ago, it was double that. It was the only coin that was sustaining above its, December 2017 price point of $100. Ethereum is down to 363, I think is what it just was. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me? I hope, it's like go on top of the refrigerator, grab Lois's rainy day fund out of the piggy jar, break it open, and I don't want to push people, but it's like if there is a time right now, this is the time. I wish I had the gong back to hit it again because this is great. I'm not going to hit the TV, but this is the best time. I don't want to.
So we've got some super major heavy hitters now are all of a sudden, we're going to enter the market. So what do we go out and tell everybody? What do we make a huge stinking deal out of to really shake things up? And just step on it profusely and just squeeze all the rest of the week hands out. Well, that was Bitcoin ETF. Thanks a lot, Winklevoss twins. We appreciate it. So that was the big topic, I think, over at least the last 30 days, if not maybe a little more. Mm-hmm. And it crushed the market. I mean, that was just the big thing where it was just... But with the amount of articles out there of financial institutions, setting up these infrastructures and things like that. So we have the New York City Stock Exchange coming now and opening a global, registered platform for cryptocurrency with a company called Bakkt.
And that's kind of what we were looking for that May 15th. But nonetheless, when we're talking...
Man, this I think is... It's huge. So if you guys don't know what Bakkt is, Google it, take a peek. We're going to give you a quick overview. So this system has partnered with giant companies like Microsoft and Starbucks. Not saying that Starbucks is going to be accepting Bitcoin by any means. But what this system is going to do is it's going to allow users globally, all over, to be able to spend cryptocurrency and it be exchanged into national currencies. And this is going to happen all over the place. I'm talking global. It's going to be huge. And it's all going to also be backed by a guarantee fund created by Bakkt. So there is an insurance policy with this type of stuff that's going to happen. So that was a big thing that they were waiting for and looking for in the actual Bitcoin ETFs as well. So this may even be bigger than the actual ETFs themselves. But everybody was like, oh, look this way. Guess what, everybody? ETFs? No, I'm sorry. No, that's not going to work for us. And the price is just plummeting. And I think it was August 3rd was the release of the announcement for Bakkt, which may be 10 times greater and 10 times bigger than the whole ETF across the board. We have all these major billionaire, trillionaire companies and people coming into this point. It's like, I don't know. I feel pressure behind me. Like it's just building. It's just building like crazy right now.
And it's funny you say that because that's exactly what eclipses do is a release of pressure. And that's why...
Man, oh man.
That's what Uranus... Here's a funny thing. Why Uranus is called
Hopefully
the Great
Uranus
Awakener.
isn't releasing any pressure.
No, but that's what it is. So Saturn...
That's what I did there.
Saturn is the malefic planet construction. Mars is a malefic planet. Okay, these are the two, like when stuff kind of comes across these, they can be the harder, more, that squeeze. Where the whole purpose of Uranus is the release of tension. The release of tension.
Let go of that hose.
Of letting go. Now, touch on that real quick. So that's gone in May 15th. We've been talking about it since the first episode, right? In January 8th.
Indeed, we have.
So today, Uranus is now retrograde. So retrograde again means from Earth's perspective, the planet's moving backward. All right, so it's closest now to the Earth. So it's how the elliptical pattern works. So retrograde. So that means now it's in Taurus moving backward, and it's going to dip back into Aries for just a minute before it comes back in here. All right, the same thing is happening. Well, everything is freaking retrograde right now. We got Mercury retrograde. We got Mars retrograde. Mercury's in Leo. Mars is up there in Aquarius. They're opposite of each other, both moving backwards. It's, how am I moving? I don't know where to go. I don't know where anything is at. I'm just living. Anyway, Uranus is now moving backward. Neptune is moving backward. Saturn is moving backward. Pluto is moving backward. Everything is in this retrograde stage. And the eclipse, when you said pressure, that's the whole reason, is to shine that light, to show the shadow, and to release the pressure, you know? So if the full moon lunar eclipse, that's the start, that's the beginning of this cleanse, to see this, that new moon is the release. So it's just really funny you brought that up, and I had to...
I just feel like I'm sitting on a geyser just waiting for it to just explode.
Absolutely.
And it just... I mean, we haven't seen altcoins this low since last October, maybe not
Earlier.
even. We're talking about September, August prices. Like,
this is the best thing that's happened, and I hope you look at it that way too.
I hope you guys have been pulling stuff off the top, and you know, as we go through these ups and downs, we realize, you know, where these low prices really are low. Is that low? No, we got a few ways before we really get down, and I think the altcoins are really feeling it because people are dumping out and putting it into Bitcoin, expecting the Bitcoin boom. That's going to be the first thing that's going to shoot up in price, and then the altcoins are going to sit here and they're just going to be chilling. Everybody's like, I got to ride that Bitcoin train, baby. Got to ride that Bitcoin train. And then as soon as Bitcoin typically starts leveling off, and it comes back down a little bit and gets a little bit of a bounce, then we see some altcoin boom action.
Yep.
And
that's when we follow the bouncing ball. Yeah.
I mean, we got things like Cardano at 10 cents. We got Tron at 2 cents. We got EOS at like $12. We had
Ethereum Classic at 14
bucks.
We'll just say right now, we noticed this just before we started. It is live on the app. Ethereum Classic is live on the Coinbase app.
Coinbase app, baby.
But if you log into Coinbase.com, which I did, and I don't have the app, so we noticed this. It is not on my phone website anyways. I didn't actually check on my computer. But it's interesting. He pulled open his app, boom, Ethereum Classic is on Coinbase at 14 and change, ready to buy right now. Again, the .com version, it's not showing up.
Desktop may have to wait a minute. I think they probably have a lot more users on the mobile side,
Right.
Which very well maybe less users, etc. But you know, one of those two where they thought it would be better to release on one of the others to test. But I'm sure the desktop is going to be not far behind. I mean, it wasn't even there this morning.
Yeah, it absolutely was not.
And you know, 6-7 hours later, I was like, oh,
How about that?
well, what do you know?
So there you go, 14 bucks.
So if you guys are looking forward to the Ethereum Classic on the, well, at least for now, the Coinbase app, it's there. It's ready for you guys to buy. Do it up. I think it's going to do really well, especially if we come into a massive bull run coming up. I think it will do well.
And let's talk about this eclipse again on Saturday. This eclipse is the eclipse of the year. This is the fifth and final eclipse of the year. It is happening in Leo. All right, which Leo is this creative self-expression. This is about us being us. It's all about you being the bright shining star who you are, the reason why you get up in the morning and put this sock on this foot, or whatever it is that makes you the special person you are. We're in a very unique time with the astrology of like a lack of confidence. There is a huge lack of confidence, and that's an astrological event that happened in May as well, when Chiron went, I don't want to get too much into Chiron, but when it moved into Aries, which is going to be there for like 5 or 6 years, and it kind of Aries is all about self, just self. This is the core of me that I know, and when we have that in there, it makes it kind of difficult to see your own true shining light, if that makes any sense. It's hard to see yourself, or like it's easy to see like, oh, I really love this about this person, or this, or I love this about this company, or this, or this, or this, and then well, why don't I have that? Why don't I offer this, or why can't I do this? So there can be a bit of that, you know, it's funny, reflection too, of self and comparison to others, or these other things, or I should be here, but I'm not, I'm this and this and this. this eclipse is going to be it's a godsend, if you will, if you've been feeling that, because this is a double side, moon and sun in the sign of Leo, and we're having what we call a finger of God, a yod. It's a weird astrological event that happens, and it's kind of rare, to be honest with you. It's a very rare happening. And we have Neptune up there in Pisces and Pluto up there in Capricorn, right? They're forming a sextile, which is a 60-degree earth and water. Now, transformation and the expansion of consciousness and dreams, all right? And they're forming that perfect connection to the moon and the sun and Mercury, the trader of goods. They're all together in Leo, which again is like, there's nothing holding you back from being that, bright shining star or whatever it is in your own personal life, or being able to move forward with certain things. If it's like, hey, now wrapping this into the cryptocurrency, if it's like, hey, I really want to buy Ethereum Classic right now at $14. If I spend $300, I buy, I get whatever, 20 coins and something. If there's things in your own subconscious that are holding you back from not being able to, it's like maybe you see the top of the staircase, but you don't know how to take the first steps. This is a really great light shining on that to be like, no, it's fine. Just take the first step, like that old Martin Luther King. It's like you don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. Just trust it. Trust that every time you go, there's gonna be next step. This is really like hitting home on Saturday about that. And as far as the market goes, again, Pluto and Capricorn, big money, big government, making that perfect, nearly perfect sextile over to Pisces, the expansion, more. And then this perfect yod to the eclipse.
I like that.
I know, it's a weird, and it's funny, but it's really, really, really powerful. So I'm expecting to see a big turnaround this weekend.
I've got my seatbelt on, and I think, especially with the way the media is going, I think we're primed for it. It's the major dips. It's weird. It's almost like you hear the sound before you see the light, except for the sound that you hear is, the fear and uncertainty.
I think it's the opposite, isn't it? You see the lightning and then the sound comes afterward.
My apologies. So yeah, it's being able to, we're getting these messages from the media and in this space that is so socially driven and driven by people's perceptions. Mm-hmm. And when these fears and uncertainty and doubt come through, it's literally the perfect time for where all this bigger money gets dumped into the market behind the scenes. And it's very upsetting. Like now that I'm very familiar and comfortable with seeing these trends in the social media markets, these big players coming out and saying what they do, their actions behind that are following through. I mean, it's the perfect time.
It's the perfect time.
It's the perfect time.
And I'm going to jump on another aspect about this as well here. The reason 24% of people fell out when JP Morgan came out with his BS, the reason that 27% of people fell out when
Goldman Sachs
with his BS is because you believed him and you didn't believe in yourself. You didn't believe in yourself. I'm going to be really honest with you right now. You're a product of your environment. Mm-hmm. This eclipse is saying no more. I have to believe in me, in my path, in what I know is my heart. And I'm not going to just listen because this guy over here says it's raining. Well, when I look out, it's sunny and beautiful. Maybe I'll grab a raincoat just to be safe, but I'm going to go play in the sun and not be like, oh, well, he said it's going to rain today. I'm just going to come in and just read a book, which is nothing wrong with reading a book. But, go outside and read the book. But the point is, this eclipse, that being in Leo, being this hard thing, is it's like you have to follow your path. Be your own JP Morgan. Be your own. Make these decisions and own them, dude. Own them and say, yes, I made that decision and it wasn't the best. Or I made that decision and it was great for me. But either way, I made that decision. I have the power to create and manifest my life. And if I believe that Ethereum Classic is going to be it for me, or if it's going to be Litecoin, or if it's Bitcoin, or whatever I want to invest in, be confident about that. And if you lose you lose. If you win, you win, but it was you that did it. It wasn't because of somebody else talking you out of it. You know, we'll even talk about that. That was one of the first things we talked about on this show, was about playing your hand and not being afraid being pushed out by somebody else. And that's exactly what's been happening over the past few months. It's exactly what has been happening. It's somebody else saying, well, I've got a 2-3. And we've got ace king here. You've got ace king in your hand, but I've got more money, so I'm gonna all in, and then you're lack confidence.
Pulling the Brunson,
You
the Doyle Brunson, baby.
Right, and it's like, no, you have to believe in your hand, and you have to make those calls right now. And this is where we're at. This is what Saturday is all about.
The night is always the darkest before the dawn. I mean, we have never seen altcoins bleed quite like this, or at least in a long time. And it's getting to people. People, I mean, they're some of the posts that I see out on social media. They're like, I don't know what to do with myself.
Be patient
and be kind to these guys. You know, give them the support they need, especially those of you who know these market cycles. Let them know. Give them some comfort. Don't let them get kicked out of the game. I mean, their investment is your same investment. I mean, we are walking in this hand in hand together. I'm sick of that trolling that I see out there, man, and just people stepping on others for not knowing, the whole story, or they're just babies. They're just little crypto babies.
And we all were. Like, nobody's a vet.
Absolutely.
No one's a vet at this. Because here's the thing. What we're experiencing in 2018 was not the same crypto world of 2017, 2016. It's not. We're in a whole different category. I mean, there's experienced traders. There's guys who have lost trades and you gain experience. There's guys who have gained on trades and you gain experience. If you don't play your hand, you don't gain that experience, whether it's win or lose. So, those of you that have that kind of experiences, that's who we're talking to right now. It's like, help those out who haven't. Don't just make fun of them for, like Aaron's saying, for being a noob or asking a question that you might think is, we were all there. We're all there. And like he's saying, the more you help them out and you get them on board with this stuff, it helps you out too. It
does. I mean, this is a community-based currency. The more demand in it, the more we're going to see from it. I mean, that's just across the board, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh. Be kind to your neighbors.
Be kind. Please rewind.
Absolutely. What?
Yeah. So that brings us to card of the day.
It's your turn. This one. It's your turn.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards left. 5 cards left.
What will we do?
We're gonna go this one, right? You ready for this?
Let's
ready
do
for
it.
This, Nug? Smile so wide your face aches. Laugh so hard your belly hurts. Find the joy and happiness in every moment. Be here now. I like that. Paul Tripp.
That's a beautiful
Paul
thing.
Tripp.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you guys, it really helps out. Hit that like button. It helps us get to the top of the list, more views, so we can keep bringing you guys awesome information.
And thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us
on Crypto Cosm.